Hey folks, Little J, the rideshare goober here. I've been out for a while. I'm sorry about that. I broke my hand, and while you can drive with a broken hand, it's hard. I had to have surgery. That knocked me back for a little while. Had a couple of steel pins sticking out of my hand for a while, and that makes everything hard to do. But I'm back in action and working a lot more than I was. I was barely working at all before. But that kind of leads me into tonight's Pearl Snap of Wisdom. After I broke my hand, I was taking your average painkillers, prescription stuff, but not narcotic. Tramadol, if you know what that is, Tylenol, that kind of stuff. Immediately after the surgery, or actually as I was going into the surgery, I asked the surgeon if he could write me a prescription for just Tramadol, something strong but non-narcotic. I don't like narcotics. That's a personal opinion. I don't like them. I don't like what they do to the body. I don't like the way they affect your gut. And doctor said Tramadol's good, but not for now. Immediately after this surgery, you're going to be in too much pain. You need something stronger. And he did put me on a really, really mild narcotic. I mean, I'm allergic to Vicodin, so he put me on codeine. Codeine is really mild stuff. And what I need to angle into here is something that rideshare drivers need to think real long and hard about. If you've had a minor injury, slammed your finger in a car door, I'm sure that happens a lot to people who do this. If you are on some type of prescription painkiller and it is an opioid / narcotic, even if it's a really low dose, a really mild one like codeine or Tylenol 3, which is codeine, or Vicodin or something like that, it's not impairing you. Okay, we know those aren't the strong ones that the Hollywood celebs go and get the celebrity doctors to write prescriptions for. However, they are still narcotics, and opioids and narcotics are at the middle of the attention these days. Even if you are not in any way impaired, and it is definitely making you much more functional and your life livable, if you're taking those kind of medications, don't work. Find another means of income, sell something on eBay, make trinkets and sell them. If you are part of the gig economy doing Uber and Lyft, then this is probably not your sole source of income, even if it's your main source of income. The reason it's a terrible idea to drive while you're taking those medicines, even though they're not impairing you, even though you are still perfectly clear-headed, competent, capable, smart driver, you could still get in an accident. Most drivers are not competent, capable, smart drivers, and it's inevitable accidents happen. And if somebody else causes an accident, they're going to do anything they can to throw shade on you and try to make it out to be your fault. It happened to me in as recently as 2016. I was nearly killed by a drunk driver, and that woman went out of her way trying to make it my fault, right up until they put the bracelets on her and stuffed her in the back of the police car. The reason that this is an issue is if you are in an accident, and even if it's not your fault, and the other driver makes a scene and convinces the police to start asking questions, and you admit that you are taking some type of opioid, or they get real pushy and make you take a blood test, which they are very well set up to do these days, because that's a great way to test accurately for blood alcohol levels. So they do field checks for blood alcohol level with a blood draw. And they decide to do a blood draw, and they find an opioid or a narcotic or anything like that, strong like that, in your blood at the accident, you're done. You got a DUI. Doesn't matter if it wasn't your fault. Nothing else is going to matter except that you were in an accident and you were driving while you had narcotics in your blood. So even if it's a small amount for a minor thing like an old back injury or a chronic knee problem that you have to take these kind of things, don't drive while you've been taking them. For that whole couple of weeks immediately after my surgery, while I was very eager to get off of the narcotics and switch to Tramadol and some over-the-counters. One, I wanted to get back to work. I was not going to drive with them. Two, again, I don't like taking them. So tonight's Pearl Snap of Wisdom: if you're taking a prescription narcotic, even a really mild one that obviously is not impairing you in any way, you still do not want to do this job. Because you're not just driving yourself. You are driving under a flag. You are driving for Uber, and you're driving for Lyft or whatever rideshare company. You're representing them. And getting a DUI while you're driving commercially or professionally is totally different than getting a DUI while you're just driving to the grocery store. You'll never drive for Uber or Lyft again. Besides the fact you don't want the heartache of a DUI. That costs a fortune for you to fight. Even if you win, you beat the rap, you won't beat the ride. You're going to have an arrest on your record for DUI for the rest of your life, even if it was dismissed or acquitted or whatever. Tonight's Pearl Snap: if you're on prescription narcotics, even mild ones, don't do this job. Take some time off. I'm Little J, the rideshare goober. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, follow. We're on all the social media channels. I appreciate you watching. Remember, the bolo makes it better. I'm going to go pop smoke and drive tonight. Have a good one.